I'm gonna be biased. I'm gonna say maybe Sebastian Buemi. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh no! Don't associate him with me. You're also saying that I also cry a lot and bitch a lot.
Oh no, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't. Let me walk. I'm walking that back. I didn't mean it like that.
Okay. I understand. It's just I don't know. I really don't like Sebastian Buemi. I'm sorry.
All the Toyota fans in the comments section right now. What do you mean you don't like Sebastian Buemi? Hello and welcome to the Racing Vtuber Rundown, your weekly podcast for all things Racing Vtuber news and events. I'm Kaito NASA. It always happens, I swear, every single time. Every week, I don't know what happens. It just, Scuff, always happens. I'm Kaito NASA, and I'm joined in the booth by Ruby Nekomata, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, okay, I didn't pick that up. Okay, yeah. But yeah, I'm Ruby Nekomata, and I am a sim racing centric VTuber. I know because some racing VTubers do just other racing games, but I do competitive sim racing. I'm a part of Queen's Design, which is like a pro sim racing team that is headed by Anor Rose, and she herself is an SRO Esports champion. We also have Mia Rose, who is a Le Mans Cup winner. April Carlsvard, which they did a lot in Realist Racing, and I commentated with them in VTrack. I used to commentate with them in VTrack for I think 3 seasons or so. I'm not sure. It's been a while. It's been a long time that we've been commentating together. But this season, I'm actually in VTrack Challenge myself. And other than that, I'm just a cat. I yap a lot. I have I nya a lot. There's like a redeem in my stream where you could literally like redeem it. And all they do is just nya really loudly, like on the top of my lungs. And I think then my neighbors hate it, but it's okay.
I mean, I think neighbors hate living next to streamers anyways. It doesn't matter which one. Can you imagine having to live next to, what's his name? XQC. Could you imagine having to live next to XQC? No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to imagine it. Especially since you can't even discern what he's saying half of the time.
Chat. Chat, you need to see this, chat.
Yeah, it's like he's speaking another language sometimes. It's so funny. Like, all I could hear is just chat.
It's like the only thing I can understand.
Thankfully, I try. I attempt to speak English as clearly as I can. But sometimes I mix up because, like, my brain has to do the racing, and my brain also needs to do the interacting with the streaming, which is why I have been streaming for a while. I feel like I needed to get my brain intact, but I feel a little better overall now, so I probably could expect a bit more of that, yeah.
Actually, I had... It's funny you mentioned about getting back into the streaming, because I had just selected to raid, and right as I raid, you were raiding Reska today.
Yeah, that was a bit of unfortunate timing. Like, I didn't want to linger on too long at the end of my stream, because like I felt like I was maybe a little frustrated at my result. I was like a tiny bit frustrated at my mistake in Silverstone, the second round of VTrack Challenge, because I had a spin coming out of turn 1. I was all fine until like the exit of the corner where like the left left rear got onto the curb, and like I was already slipping. Like I did the corner absolutely perfectly, but I guess I don't know, I just lost control and I just spun, and thankfully I didn't hit anything. I was able to continue spin around and get my merry way, but I did lose a few positions because of it, and I was kicking myself throughout the whole way. But thankfully, I went on to finish 5th. I recovered a bit. I had a battle with Ryo Kirihara, and I nearly got to midnight, but I had made a mistake on the penultimate lap that just sent me back a couple seconds, and she got the 4th place.
Now, this is like the first time I've seen you race in VTrack, because VTrack is just That's all I really race in is VTrack and TGT. Is there a little bit of a rivalry going on between you and Midnight right now? I noticed like the stream title was like Catgirl versus Horse Girl. I was like, ooh, a little bit of on track drama.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's just I was trying to find a funny title, and then I saw like X-Ring, which they used to be called Uma. I think because I think Midnight said that in a previous episode, I guess. And like I was like, and then I thought of Midnight being a horse girl, and I was like, okay, I could it's Catgirl versus horse girl, and I decided, and I thought about putting in other Eldritch creations, but I don't know why I didn't, because I feel like because that was my first Twitch, that was my first title for the first round was Catgirl versus Eldritch creations, but I decided to do Catgirl versus horse girl because I was pretty much battling against all of X-Ring until I had that spin.
I was unable to see that because I was fighting for my life in the amateurs right now. Oh gosh, speaking of Silverstone, that was rough. I'm glad I got with the practice that I did because yeah, fun fact, I was stuck with hurricane preparation with Helene, and I'm gonna take a quick second from the podcast and say if you're able to, please donate to the Red Cross or any organization that is looking to help anyone that's been caught up in the tragic effects of Hurricane Helene. I know a lot of people think of hurricanes and it's like, oh, just the area that got hit hard. But no, we saw today with the record flooding up further north. So gonna take a quick second. If you can, please reach out to support those that have been impacted by the recent hurricane.
Yeah, I'm glad you're safe on regards. I actually had a friend in another server who was really who has a friend in the hospital due to the flooding. And like I was just really worried about everybody, especially because I know even LGR had to evacuate as well. Just a huge it's just a huge tragedy, and I just thoughts are with everybody that has to go through that. I mean, like I can't even imagine how frightening that must be.
The closest I've been was a Category 5 hurricane in 2018, and it's not easy. You rebuild. But you always, when hurricane season comes around, it's always just you always get that little bit of anxiety of, is this going to happen again? So and unfortunately for like Perry and like east of St. Mark's, they've been hit nonstop for the past year. So unfortunately for them, it's been a repeat story, and Helene especially has looked really bad right now. And I'm glad for those that are okay, and I'm praying for those that have been hit really badly.
Yeah, I guess the closest we have here in my part of the U.S. is earthquakes, but I think in general, like it's just I feel like it's just I can't even begin to describe it. So.
Interesting fact I learned thanks to the hurricane is that Tarlz and I live in the same city.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know it, but he needed gas, and like we had talked a little bit about the cone, and he had made a comment, and so I reached out to him. I was like, "Hey, you mean this city, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "No way, dude. That's literally where I live."
I'd be frightened if Tarlz lived in the same city I did. I'm just kidding, Tarlz. Because I know Tarlz lived in California as well. I think, I don't know, or it was somewhere in California. I might be misremembering.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember too well.
But that was fun. And then afterwards, I was like, okay, I gotta get some practice in. Because I was like, maybe I might not show up. It just depends. And I was like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and practice. And Alex helped me out a bit, so it was crazy.
Yeah, coaching always really helps. Like practice always helps, especially if you have somebody coaching you. Like I guess to change, not change the topic, but at least like take it to somewhere like in a personal anecdote. I joined Queen Design in 2022, and that's I think January 2022, and that's when I started competitively sim racing. This is before when I was a VTuber, so this is just when I was using real name. Well, no, Ruby Nekomata is my real name, but but yeah, I a lot from what I've learned throughout the years is that practice is really valuable, but only if you can really learn anything from it. I've always been told to not over practice, like in a single sitting. Like for example, if I practice for like an hour tops, then like that should be the max, and I should take a break. And then like maybe in a few hours, if I do really want to practice again, I should give it like a couple hours or so, and then I could practice for another 60 minutes. And then what's really key is that it's not just the practice, but it's also just looking back at not your mistakes, but just analyzing the whole lap and having somebody else to sort of compare to, and having like a sort of how can I say, like a reference, I guess, like having a reference, somebody to guide you through like what's the proper way to take this corner, like what like where you're losing the most time, and what is the biggest problem overall that you're having with the track, because sometimes it isn't just a single. Sometimes it isn't just a single corner like many people think. Sometimes it's just throughout the whole lap. Like maybe you're not using as much as a car as you hope, or maybe the car is too maybe you don't feel comfortable in the car with the setup and everything, or you're not using the brakes, or you're not using whatever like as well as you should be. So and I really have to thank Honor. Even now, I really have to thank Honor like throughout the years for her coaching me, because I think without her, I would have been really lost. And I guess it's not a shameless plug, but I have been using Popometer for my telemetry data. It is an online. It's not an online app, but it's like a online thing where it gives you an app where it records your data on ACC and a couple other sim racing games, and it gives you a really easy way to just look at the data. Like it isn't like Motec where you need to like set it up like manually, and then looking at Motec, it's super overwhelming, and you gotta like and you gotta like filter things out, or you gotta like really or if you need like a visual representation of the lines you're taking, like you really need to set up a map and make sure everything's right. But with Popometer, like it's already there, like everything's there. Like you can set up super easy, and you can easily like select which lap to compare, and it even gives you like how much each driver has cut a single corner at the apex, or where their minimum speed is before the corner. So it's really valuable for me, and I feel like it's really helped me over time. Just the combination of everything.
One thing I want to know, because we kind of touched on, like, or well, you touched on a little bit, like how you had joined Queen's Design before you had started like VTubing activities. What got you into sim racing, like originally? Because I don't really ask a lot of people this, and I'm genuinely curious because you're one of the fastest people I know.
I actually I don't want to say I got into it like I started competitively sim racing in 2022, but I've been sim racing since I want to say 2016, 2015 even, when I first did iRacing. Before that I was doing like I really like racing games like Gran Turismo and like the EA NASCAR games. And then like after like I saw somebody play iRacing, I think it was either on YouTube or because somebody told me about it, I decided to try out iRacing. They had a free trial, but back then you could easily get free trials back then, not like nowadays where like it's so hard to come by, or I don't know actually. But I just tried a free trial and I was really hooked on it. And yeah, I just did I did iRacing for like a few years, like on and off. I actually streamed before actually on iRacing. Like I did a bit of streaming and I was a little bit okay at it, but I wasn't the best. Like I'd say the highest my iRating got was like 2.1K. And then yeah, I stopped and I stopped before COVID, and I had a little break from sim racing. I don't know what I really did, but I think I was just really getting through some personal things until Inor motivated me to not only get back into sim racing, but to do it competitively. So that's how I really got to this point.
Thanks for the confidence boost with the casual. Oh yeah, the highest I was at this point was like 2K. Meanwhile, me over here at still about 500 I rating in the sports car.
I mean, I still did a lot of practice back then, and I was subscribed to, like, I think it was called Virtual Racing School. They still had it, like, back in 2017, 2018, but, like, I did actually go through, like, a few dips, and I think on average I was, like, 1800. But I wasn't really, I was nowhere near as at the skill level that I am right now. Like for reference, I think right now I'm like 3.3K on both Formula and sports car, and like a lot of it is just down to just being, because a lot of the time you don't know what you're doing wrong until you're told what you're doing wrong. So I feel like that's the thing, like with a lot of people that are struggling, is that you could tell them to practice, but the thing is that practice is only good if you know what to practice. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I know exactly because, for example, with me in Silverstone this week, I had no idea what I was doing in some of the corners until Alex was like, "Oi, Kaito, you're driving the Aston, right? Come with me, and we're gonna review your replay," which is something that I've heard is very important, and I'm kind of guilty of not doing that. I think I'm gonna start doing that more often.
Yeah, even then, sometimes when you look at a replay, you don't really get it. So to have somebody else to look at your lap, somebody that is has a higher skill level, it doesn't have to be like a super pro, or it doesn't have to be like somebody who is super quick, but as somebody just that has a bit of knowledge, somebody that's just a second faster or 2 seconds or whatever. Somebody's just faster than you, just to look at your lap and go like, hey, like I think you can improve here. Like that really helps all the time.
So what got you into competition level of sim racing? Because I know you said you're doing the Ferrari Esports here soon. You've done the I think it's like what, ABN, I think, is the iRacing League. I've seen a few of those races. Like, what got you into full on competition racing?
I feel like it was because I was really close to Honor, and I guess I was really inspired by like how like this is around a time where she was competing in the SRO Esports. She had just won the GT World Challenge America Esports in the GT4, and she was dominant in there. She was winning more female racers, and she was in the top level of ACC at the time in 2022. I think it was the Intercontinental, or I think it was GT World Challenge Europe. But like the European series is like really really competitive. Like all the best drivers were there. Like Toniza, Naujox, who else? Boothby, all those people that like I don't know if you know them, but like people who are like at the top of their game, like the best to do in ACC, and like she was like hanging in with them, and I think even one race I think the highest she finished was like 10th, like against like people like Toniza. Like she beat Toniza, and she beat like really people who are still racing, still are like people who are in Williams and whatever. And like seeing that kind of inspired me. Like, and I was a bit jealous too, because Mia was also like doing like Asia. She was also doing the Asia series since she's in Australia, and she was also doing some of the best leagues in Australia as well. So that really inspired me. I was like, how do you get so fast? Like, how did you do that? And it's like, well, like, I have an idea. Like, what if we made a team, and I'll coach you, because you were never given the opportunity to, to compete at this level, and I want you to, and I want to give you the best opportunity to go as far as you can. And that's how I got into competitive sim racing. And my first league was actually the Racing Club International Diamond Drive, which is like a women's / non-binary only event. And like just because it was just a women's only event doesn't mean the competition was really high. I mean, like for one, like Enor and Mia were there, but there was also drivers like Sarah Dove, who was in United Sim Team. There was Nicole Fox, and a lot of good drivers in there. And I was really at the back of the pro field, guys. I qualified just for pro, pre-qualified just for pro, and like I was bringing in the back. But over time, I improved and improved and improved, and I think the drive just because I was so inspired by Mia and Honor. I think that's what really got me to competitive sim racing, and it also sort of helps me live out like a childhood dream of that. I always wanted to race cars. I was like, why not do it virtually? And yeah, and it's gotten me into some really. I've been really lucky to how do you say it? To experience some of the things I've gotten through sim racing. Like I've gotten a trip to Las Vegas to compete in the screen to speed finals. And just now, I qualified in the USEF qualifiers to represent the United States in the Global Esports Games.
Yeah, you've got a trip to China for that, don't you?
I'm really excited. I've never been to. I mean, obviously, I've never been. I mean, I shouldn't say obviously, but I've never been to China. The only other country I've been outside of US is Mexico, because that's where my family originally is. But like other than that, I've never seen. Like I've never been more to the west of like say El Paso, like so like to go even further like even further east as far as China is just insane to me. And it's insane to me that I'm at this level to be recognized, like to be. And like I was even hanging on to even like because I was in the women's category. Like I was both in the women's category, and I qualified for the open category. But I didn't want to settle just for the win in that category. There was the open category, and I was really keeping up with some the really top esports people like Zach Doran of Visceral and Michael Moaning and Cameron Martineau of Samantha Tan. Like that was really surreal to me that I could be able to compete on that level.
What do you think, like, younger you would say to hearing that you're going to be competing in a racing event for, like, representing the United States overseas in China?
I don't know. I feel like I feel like there would be a lot that my younger self would be very surprised about, other than the China thing for sure. Especially with how I am personally now. It's like, but it's like I would have believed it because I always felt like I was just really bad at sim racing. I felt like I was like I could never get to this level, but I feel like it's just a lot of hard work. Like it's like I feel like people sort of underestimate the amount of hard work you really need to do in order to get like to a certain level. Like it isn't just like you just do a few hot laps and then you're there. It's also about doing the race itself, because like it's just so much. And yeah, it's not like you have to like dedicate your whole life to it, but it's just a lot of work.
You have experience with the esports side of sim racing. I don't. I'm a flat out say it. I don't. But I follow a bunch of other like esports scenes. So like, how do you feel compared to like other esports that like sim racing is in terms of like the competition or like the scale of the community and like I guess like the time it takes to put in for it too?
I feel like it's like the same amount of time to put in for like any other esport. Like I remember before the pandemic hit that I was really into fighting games, and like I had to like spend so much time labbing. Like and it reminded me, and like when I started practicing sim racing competitively, like when I started putting in the practice, it reminded me of like when in fighting games I would have to lab all the time. Like I don't know if you mean what I mean by like labbing and like practicing.
Oh yeah.
In fighting games.
Yep.
Oh yeah, like when you have to figure out how, like if you have an advantage, or if you're plus or minus or whatever, like what moves give you like it's kind of like that. And so I feel like it compares to most esports where you have to put in a lot of time and practice and just study a lot. I feel like in terms of scale, I feel like it's deceptively big because people sort of like put down sim racing as like it's dead or whatever, but like there's a lot of leagues and there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of there's still a lot of interest in it, I feel like. And the competition, like I feel like it's funny because I watched a video from Nils Najox, who actually runs Popometer, who had the inspiration for Popometer, and he's a driver for BS Plus competition. And he was saying how sim racing is actually one of the hardest esports because it's not like say like Counter Strike, where it's just where even though you really need to concentrate and really need to execute like perfectly for like short bursts, you still have that bit of a break to reset, recalibrate, and you get so many tries. Like you sort of start from zero, like not from like a whole match perspective, but I guess like in a situational perspective. Same thing with like fighting games. Like whenever you win around, you still have like you go back to full health and you have a chance to like catch up. But with sim racing, that like you say if you have like a 60-minute race, if you make a mistake, that's like 5 like this. Say if you lose 5 seconds, that's 5 seconds like that you're never gonna get back if this leader keeps going however they're at their same pace. Like those 5 seconds are lost, and like you have to keep that up for so long, and you have to keep like you cannot afford to just take a break or just get a drink of water. Like maybe at the pit stop, but like even then, like say if you make it halfway, like a 30-minute stint, that's still 30 minutes of full on concentration. And like I don't think that compares to any other esport, at least from what I can think of. Like there's probably others maybe, but that I'm forgetting. But from ones that I've seen, like first person shooters or MOBAs or fighting games or sports games, like this is probably one of the hardest ones to be really good at, be at the top level.
All right, I gotta ask because you brought up fighting games. What's your favorite fighting game?
That's hard to say. I've only played a few. Like I think my favorites like overall is Melty Blood. I used to play Melty Blood was my first fighting game because I really like the Tsukihime visual novel.
Yes.
And, Type Moon stuff. And so I got into Melty Blood because of that, and I was really bad at it because it's really hard actually. It's like it's super hard, but
is it Actress Again or like current code?
Actress Again. Yeah, it's like the latest one. Like not the latest actually. It's like it's the one before the sequel they made.
Yeah, AACC.
Yeah, that's the one I played a lot, and then I feel like that's my favorite. And then I played Tekken 7, but I could never get into Tekken that much. It was really hard. Tekken is really hard.
Yes.
Like, oh my god. And then
I
I played a lot of Dead or Alive. I played a 4, 5, and 6, and I think I got the best at 6. Like at 6, like I feel like I was at least comparable to some people. Like I could hang on to I feel like I could hang on to some good people, but I still was really trash, to be honest. But yeah.
I never got to play Actress Again Current Code. I've only been able to play Type Lumina. But yes, another Tsukihime fan. Let's go.
I really like just in general just some of the Type Moon stuff. Like I really just enjoy watching Carnival Phantasm again. Like,
Yes.
it's just it's so funny.
Oh, okay. Favorite who did you play in Melty Blood? Like who was your favorite character?
Sachin.
Ah, okay. I was an Alco fan in Type Lumina, so Alco, my beloved.
Yeah, Sachin is in Type Lumina still, which I think she isn't. They really need to add her in. But then they added in Saber, so I was really I got really mad at that.
Saber, Mash, and meanwhile Eltonum just still in uni. Please bring her back. Bring her back to the Tsukihime universe.
I just really was really bad at fighting games. I can never get I shouldn't say that I could never get into it, but it's like I don't think I can be at the same level that I am in sim racing that I could be in fighting games. It's just a whole nother thing. Maybe if I try hard enough, but I don't know.
I mean, I was 0-2 at my locals for Smash all the time, so I'm with you on that one. Meanwhile, I'm over here like not counting the penalty that I've preliminarily got right now. We're waiting on penalty results to be finalized and all that. P6 right now in Silverstone.
Oh, sorry, what was that again? I was spacing out.
I was just saying, I was the 0-2 guy at your for me it was Smash, but like your local fighting game scene, I was the guy that was always 0-2, and so
Me too. Yeah, and I took pride in it, not because of I'm so bad, huh? But because it was fun. I always took pride whenever I got so close.
Yes,
you gotta really celebrate your own accomplishments, I suppose.
I think there was one time where I went 2-2, and it was like the biggest moment of my fighting game career. Then I got out of fighting games. I went back to my love of racing games.
Yeah, same here. But I really do miss the community. That's one thing that is missing, I feel like, from sim racing is there's a community, but I don't feel like it's as tight knit as fighting game communities, because when I used to play fighting games, like there was like this West Coast scene for DOA 6, and like those are my homies. Like those, like I would meet with them every weekend or like twice every week, and like we would hang out, we would play, and then we'd go out to eat, and then that's what I miss from fighting games, is that you could meet people in person. With sim racing, you can't really bring your sim rig to like a meetup. I don't know if I would want to.
It'd be kind of a challenge for some of us to bring our rigs.
Yeah, like I have a Next Level Racing FGT, and I'm not sure I want to carry that.
Would that fit in my car? I don't think it would. I'll just bring the CRT, and I'll just bring like a GameCube. that works. Get some Mario Kart.
A CRT is a little heavy, but like it's still not as bad as
It's not as bad
manageable.
It's not as bad as a cockpit. Oh gosh.
I really miss
favorite because you mentioned the EA NASCAR games. Favorite NASCAR game?
I feel like
this is a loaded question, by the way.
Yeah, I can tell. I feel like at the moment it's NASCAR Thunder 2004.
Okay. All right. I can respect that one.
Yeah, like I there's a mod actually for it. Like some people have actually got into modding it, where like you can like either have like whatever roster you want, so like the 2004 season with all like the real drivers, like because how like they had like fantasy drivers or like Busch Series drivers there.
Yeah.
Like it gets all the part-time drivers in there, and then there's like 2005 season, 2006 season. And then you can actually edit like the stats and ratings of like each driver too. And like what you can do is that like in between races you can like go on this tool and you can modify their stats. And so like you can have it follow exactly what that year was. So like say like it was Ricky Craven versus Kurt Busch at Darlington '03, you can have those two at the front, and then you could like slot yourself in there if you really wanted to. So that's why 2004 is my favorite at the moment, because of like people figured out how to mod it, and like now I'm just having so much fun with it. To be honest, I could never get into NASCAR racing season 2003 season. I don't know why, I just never could click with it. So you could I already feel people are gonna kill me for that.
I mean, I barely got it to work when I did, when I had it on like a laptop like 10 years ago. I barely managed to get it to work. And even then, it didn't really want to work because it was so jank.
I mean, in my case, it worked fine. It's just that I didn't like driving it. Like that's just me, because I guess I'm just too used to the way that iRacing oval cars handle now. It's just really different. But another NASCAR game I really liked. I guess Dirt to Daytona.
Ooh,
as well. Like,
that's a good one.
Daytona is just like an all-time classic as well. Before like EA ever did the like moving up the ladder stuff, they did it first.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember. And then I got the first NASCAR game I owned was 2005 Chase for the Cup.
Oh yeah, that's one of the first I owned too, and I really like that game. But I feel like nowadays when I go back to it, like because the AI tire doesn't have great like the AI has a really unfair tire wear advantage, I just get frustrated. So I have to go back to 2004.
I mean, it's better than I ended up grabbing. Actually, I didn't grab it. I got it as I forget if it was a birthday or a Christmas gift, but it was NASCAR '09 on the PS2.
Actually, I have a funniest story as a kid. Actually, it wasn't '09, it was '08, but it's sort of the same thing. Like,
it's close enough, right?
yeah. I mean, but I remember I saw the trailers for it for the PS3 and Xbox 360 version, and all I had was a PS2 at the time, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I thought it was gonna look like that on PS2 too as well, because I was a little kid. I didn't understand. And then when I got it on the PS2, like I rented it, because this is back then when you could rent stuff, right? You could rent games, and I was really disappointed. I was really mad. I was like, why does it look like the trailer? And obviously now I know, but I feel that's my biggest memory, is that I was really mad because it didn't match the trailer.
Oh, that's me.
The PS2 version.
That's me going back to like the Ace Combat 5 and Ace Combat 4, because like as a kid, it's like, oh wow, this is so cool, and then like you play something else and then you go back to it, it's just like, this doesn't look how I remember it. Why does it not look the same?
Yeah, and I guess I was saved of it because the PS3 version of NASCAR 08 is notoriously bad, or the next gen versions at the time, I should say, like they're known for being really bad. So, and I did grab NASCAR 08 like a years later just for fun, to see how it was, and yeah, it's not that great. So I think I somehow spared myself as a kid.
I had a friend who owned NASCAR '08 on the PS3, and I tried it. I remember I had fun with it, but like it was so jank. It was horrible on the PS3.
I think it's because they were messing around with the ISI engine. The ISI engine is a really good engine. Like, it's a really good sim racing engine, but like it doesn't really suit oval racing super well. So like you had like the AI that would just like be in a conga line.
Yep, I remember that.
They would treat like super speedways like they were road courses. So like you would try to get around each other, even though like in super speedways you need to like work together like on a draft. Like they were really stupid about that, and also like the physics were like they were a little like. And like they were a little weird on the controller, because like you didn't like, because like they're made for like that sim engine is made for like a wheel, like a steering wheel, and like you could make it work on a controller if you wanted to, but they didn't really do as good as a job as they should have. So it just felt really lazy and really unresponsive.
And then I think it was like '09 was the last EA NASCAR game, if I remember correctly, because I think 2010 was like nothing. Gran Turismo 5 picked up the slack, was like, oh, hey, by the way, NASCAR in Gran Turismo 5.
Yeah, that's how I got my NASCAR fix, with NASCAR lobbies there. I mean, that was pretty fun, though. And then I remember getting NASCAR, the game 2011, and I sort of liked it, sort of didn't. And then I never got inside line and then the rest. And then I just got into iRacing, and that's that. I got into iRacing because I think I was just really frustrated I couldn't get any NASCAR stuff. And then then I started getting into sports car racing. I think before that, and I just completely shifted into being a sports car enthusiast. And I guess that's how I ended up here.
I've seen you drive primarily GT3. Do you drive any like prototype racing in iRacing, or?
Sometimes, not very often. I don't feel like I'm very good at prototype racing. Like sometimes I drive the Cadillac LMDH or GTPR or whatever it's called. I don't know. Like I enjoy driving it, but it's like I don't know. I just I can't really gel with it as well as I say if I could like a GT car. That's what I notice about a lot is that I guess like I just really can't like that's not that I really can, it's just I prefer driving GT cars.
I gotta ask because I see that you drive the BMW all the time. What made you choose the BMW?
It's the car that when I started in January 2022, it was the car that I handled the best. I feel like I felt the most comfortable in it. Like I understood it the best. I did the Aston Martin. I did the I don't know if I think I tried the McLaren, the Ferrari 48 because it was still the 296 still wasn't out, and the Porsche too, but I never felt comfortable with them. So then I was told to try the M4 because it was one of the fastest cars in the game at that time, like as well. And then I just kind of got used to it, and I really enjoy it. And like it's the car I'm most familiar with now.
Would you try the Corvette in iRacing? Yes or no?
I tried the Corvette actually. I didn't really like it as much, but I tried the Mustang actually, and I really like the Mustang.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like the Mustang actually.
Oh man, I've not tried the Mustang in iRacing yet. I've tried it in ACC. So you probably have more experience. How it actually handles but compared to the two?
I can't really say at the top of my head. I feel like maybe in ACC. I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't really say because I haven't driven the Mustang much in ACC. Like I've driven it for the USEF qualifiers, but I didn't really get like a good read on it. Like I wasn't really able to like really learn it, so I can't really say for sure. And also because the games they just feel so different to me.
I have a question, and it's a little bit kind of based on league racing. What's the atmosphere like when you're doing like an SRO event or like a qualifier versus competing for a track event? Hashtag not sponsored by Tracc, by the way.
I actually treat it the same. I always treat every race the same. Like I always treat it like people call me a try hard for this as well, but I always treat it like if it's like a race I'm gonna win $1 million in, or if it's like a super series SRO esports event. Like I always approach a race to do my best, no matter if it's VTrack Challenge or the Tracc GT3 Cup, or if it's Ferrari Esports, or if it's a qualifier event for SRO Esports. Like I always go in and do my best. Like the differences I could see like in front of me is maybe the driver quality overall. Like maybe like I have to like in say like a track I have to deal with AM drivers, like I have to deal with lapping them or making my way around them safely. But I feel like in terms of the atmosphere, like I don't really feel much of a difference, to be honest.
I apologize in advance for how hard I make it to pass me sometimes, by the way.
It's okay. Usually, a lot of the time, I don't have a problem with going around lapped cars. Like, most of the time, they actually get on my way, which sometimes I actually don't like. Like, sometimes I would wish they just, like, keep running their line, and if I poke my nose into the inside, like, they let off. But, like, I don't mind it. It's just that I would rather lap cars be predictable overall. Sometimes I struggle with it as well because sometimes the speed difference is really high, and sometimes I'm not used to it because usually I race around, like either pro drivers or drivers around my skill level. So sometimes I have difficulty like judging like what the speed difference is or how it handles other stuff. But overall, it's fine. Like I didn't really. Sometimes I even feel like bad for you because I remember in Olton Park, at the last corner, like you let me have the inside. I kind of went to the inside of you, and you kind of went wide. I was like, did I force that? Did I maybe scare you a little bit?
No. I had gone wide, and I was like, oh crap, I'm just gonna be. No, usually if I end up wide like that, it's 90% of the time I've made a mistake somewhere else. There have been moments where I've been spooked, and I'm trying to get better about that because I'm still in my first year of actually trying to compete in sim racing.
That's all right. I mean, I gotta start somewhere. I mean, you should have seen me when I started sim racing. That was really not that great.
Yeah, I'm playing catch up though, because I'm turning 28 soon, and there's all these young guns over here. It's like, I gotta
I'm the same way, actually. I feel the same way because there's so many people in esports that are so young. Like, people who are 18, 19, 20, even like 17 and under. Like, it's insane.
I could not hang. Like in other like traditional esports, I would already be in a retirement home.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, it's never too late. I mean, you could always learn. Like, it's just with anything, really.
What would be the single biggest advice you could give someone who's maybe like, oh well, I'm like 30 something and I've never done this before, or even like, oh, I'm 16 and I don't know what I'm doing. What would be like your biggest advice to them?
My biggest piece of advice. I feel like this is a pretty tough one to give because but I feel like the best piece of advice I could give is to find somebody that can help you, because if you try to find, like I said earlier on, actually, if you try to figure out everything by yourself, you don't know what you're doing wrong. So somebody has to look at a different perspective and see like see like maybe where you can improve. Like somebody who is faster than you, like just find somebody who can help, and don't over practice as well. That's a big one, because I see people practicing for like hours and hours, and like at that rate it won't help.
I think Hurricane said something similar last week, where it's like, whereas like for them, they can only get like an hour in, and then it's just, if they keep trying, it becomes just driving and like not actually trying to practice anything at that point.
Oh, I feel like at that point for me it gets frustrating. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, and I feel like and like I'm losing time. I don't know why, but it's just because you're tired, because you're just trying, and because also in practice, like, you're going. I don't want to say you're going like 110%, but you're pushing the limits all the time. Whereas in the race, you're like trying to like modulate your amount of pushing. So, I feel like that's why practice is so taxing at times.
I have no idea how to do that, by the way.
Something that you just really learn over time what your limit is. Like like if you know where it, like if you know like how exactly it feels when you feel like you're going 110%, and like or even when you go over the limit, like where you make a mistake, like you sort of learn like how you're driving before then, and then you could sort of like take it back a little bit of a notch. But I'm sort of the same. But I sort of struggle with that too, where like I'm always pushing the hardest that I can, like all the time. Maybe so much so that like say I make that mistake at Silverstone where I spin because I'm just trying to get as much out of the car as possible, instead of just like trying to just be consistent and trying to just think bigger picture. But it's something that you always learn. Like, it's not never something you really master, and you just really need to you always need to be aware of it.
This is a fun question, because I have seen it in your streams, and I've seen it on the Racing Vtuber clips. Where did the whole SVEN thing come from?
Oh, the SVEN thing. It was from another group of people that I know who play iRacing. Where like I guess somebody was really frustrated that that somebody was practicing so much, and then they were able to run away with it, and like they were like, oh my god, like these SVENs who have no work or no job, or they don't do any schools or anything. These SVENs who just practice all day and just do whatever, and they have no racecraft. And then like it was a bit of like an underhanded comment. I was like, well, yeah, like they do a lot of practice and you don't, so like what's the problem here? But then like I started to think about like how some sim racers, they're always like, usually I would want to say they're always usually European, but like they're like German or like Finnish or whatever, and usually their names are like something like Sven or Dirk or what's another German name, like Timo Scheisse. No, wait, that's how you say shit in German. No, but like a Sven, like what I decided to coin a Sven is it's like a sim racing tryhard who is always dive bombing, who is always like saying stuff like Doc, or like who's always using Peepo emotes, you saying stuff like Doc Hyper Giga, has like super high I rating but super low safety rating. So like they're like 7k I rating, but they have like a B class of like 1.17. Like, and they're like really dangerous. And like and like sometimes they're so cocky enough that they don't qualify, they start at the back and they just like shove slower people out the way. Like, and they always cause the accidents, and they're always yelling over the mic. Like, I think the best way to describe it is you'll know when you see a Sven. I feel like
The race at Watkins Glen in the clips comes to mind.
yeah, like that was like complete Svenery because like it's everybody just going for it at turn one, lap one, and like everybody trying to get into a single file line, everybody trying to like hot lap the whole way because it was on low fuel motorsport, and like that was a top split of because I'm not to brag, sorry, but I always get in the top split in low fuel motorsports, and like so I'm always in splits with I'm always in splits like super good people, like people who are actually really good, like people from Williams or whatever, but then there's like always people in between who are good enough on pace, but just not good enough in racecraft. I don't think we'll ever learn, and they just like dive bomb each other, or block or do like reactive blocking, or squeeze people off the track, and it just results in like huge pileups. And so like that's what it constitutes as a Ven, is that somebody who's like, I guess like a sim racing tryhard, usually from Europe, who's always going about like giga docs or hyper docs. And if you look at their Twitter account, they're either a huge Max Verstappen stan or a huge Lewis Hamilton stan, and they always talk like somebody from London, like "what a result" or "come on blood" or something like that. It's like, dude, you're a white Irish kid from like Dublin or whatever. Like, stop talking like that.
Oh
So
man. I made a joke with with the Technoburst guys because surprisingly I think this is like the first episode that no one's really cussed, and I'm sitting over here like, all right guys, listen, if we curse during the race today, Julian is gonna penalize us. Track's gonna give us a community service penalty.
Yeah. I actually curse a lot in my stream, actually, especially when I'm in a competitive setting. Actually, I don't know if I curse a lot. Like, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I definitely let my tempers out when I'm racing. Like, I can't help but do it. I'll admit that I called Midnight an asshole at Suzuka. When we had that incident at the Casio Triangle. Like, I was like, "Wow, great job, asshole!" And like, I didn't mean it. I was like. I saw the stream back and Reska showed me. I was like, oh my god, like it's so funny. You called her an asshole. Like, oh my god, I didn't mean it because I want to be because like I like Hurricane. Like Hurricane's nice. And she's a talented driver. It's just that sometimes I let my emotions get the best of me. And so sometimes I call people assholes or call people I call people like what the hell are you doing or idiot or good job idiot, and it's just the emotions get in the way because it's just competitive stuff. But in the end, you just realize that it's just racing. Sometimes it goes a little further than that. Sometimes I get a little angry at somebody. Like I get really angry. I'm like, what is your problem? And I usually like confront them about it, and usually it ends up fine. But yeah, most of the time it's just it's just stuff you say at the top of your head because that's on the top of your head because that's just how it is, really. Like you can't really like it's impossible to not let frustrations out.
I feel like that's true of every competition thing though, but because like I've seen it in other competitions, and I've been definitely guilty of that in fighting games and MOBAs, and I can really let my temper go. It's not healthy.
Thankfully, I don't really super yell. Like sometimes, like I feel like there's like a few times where I really yelled because like I just got super angry, but like I feel like I am able to at least tone it down a tiny bit. I don't know, I feel like I might regret saying that because somebody might pull up at a time where it's like, well, you just yelled at this person, call them an asshole, telling their family that I hope they choke on a piece of rice or this or that, and that their dog smells funny and whatever. But like, yeah, it's just part of it, I guess.
I think it's also like a racing thing too, because you see it in like real life motorsports too. NASCAR comes to mind with Jeff Gordon and all the fights he's been in. Cough cough. Let me just push this guy with my helmet on.
Yeah, but usually a lot of frustration just doesn't last. Like I just brush it off and like I go, okay, next time. Like sometimes I'm like in my top of my head, like okay, like I know this driver can race me like this, but like I need to approach it in a different way. Then like if somebody usually like defends really aggressively, like I already know that, so I need to approach it in a different way. But so like it never really sticks with you, like all the grudges. Like I don't feel like I've ever had a grudge like against anybody. I feel like.
Have you had an on-track rivalry, though?
A rivalry? I'm trying to think. I've had like a friendly rivalry or like a sporting rivalry. I think would be Alex Curto and I. Alex and I are really similar on pace, and so we have a little bit of rivalry. Like we're able to like go like back and forth, and sometimes he comes out on top, sometimes I come out on top. Sometimes we're both evenly matched. Sometimes we both make silly mistakes. Like so that's a rivalry, and I guess like now that you say it, I feel like Midnight Hurricane and I are a bit equal on pace now. Sometimes maybe it's me and Reina. Sometimes it's maybe and Icer. Sometimes maybe it's me and Lucas. But I feel like the biggest one I've had overall is I guess me and Alex. Like that's the biggest. That's the most prominent rivalry I can think of.
You've also had the commentary vantage point of VTrack last season. if you could spot any like budding rivalries, who do you think in VTrack is rivals?
That's kind of hard to say because now that like I'm in the driver's seat, like I'm focusing more on me than anybody else. Like because back then, I could say like a rivalry. Like I could say maybe it was last season it was between Sol and I believe Zul. And Zul, like that was a big like on track rivalry that I saw. And then another one that I saw that was I feel like for pro maybe it was like pro last season was like the Lucas Lichten show, like because Lucas Lichten was really good. And then I'm trying to think of another one. I feel like I feel like Psycho has a lot of rivalries, not because of, but because he's kind of a psychopath on track, and he knows that. And I tell like everybody knows him as a psychopath, but no, it's fine. He's fine. But at the moment, I feel like the biggest rivalry right now is me versus all of X Ring. I feel like it's me and Lucas versus all of X Ring at the moment.
I would say not just you, because some top secret insider info from Technoburst. Psycho has a bit of a he has a viewpoint. He has a viewpoint. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to cause any drama or anything. But Psycho has a viewpoint. And he sees X Ring as a rival.
Actually, I was really excited to race X Ring this season. Because like I know that they were away from track for a while, and now that they're in there, like I'm actually really excited to race them again. And I usually I just put all the back in my mind and I know the way that Hurricane races, I know the way that Reina races, I know the way that Icer races. I can now use that to my advantage, and I can how do you say it? Yeah, I guess I can use it to my advantage.
You know the way that Alvin races whenever I'm sorry, Mahito, whenever Mahito finally debuts.
Mahito is more of well, I don't know too much of Mahito, but everybody else, I guess I have an idea now, but yeah, I don't really have I don't have problems at all with X-Ring. Like I really enjoy seeing Hurricane back on track, especially that she's improved so much over the past few years. Like over the past year she's been gone. Like she's really improved a lot.
It's definitely been fun to watch. I kind of get frustrated. I will say I've been frustrated with some X-Ring drivers, but like it's more of like a friendly frustration kind of thing where I don't really have, because for some reason, and I don't know if it's just me like reading into a situation the wrong way, because I'm prone to do that sometimes. It seems like some people have an issue, and I'm just over here like, no, I'm glad to see them on track. And however, please stop flashing me. We're in the same class. I'm not gonna let you go easy, even if you are faster.
I feel like people need to separate how do I say it? Like frustration and like personal frustration. Like because the frustration that you have against a driver, anybody, it's not personal. Like it's not like if Midnight Hurricane like taps me or takes me out, like I would be frustrated, but it would be her like in her driving, like it wouldn't be her as a person. Like I'm not gonna say like I hate her, like I hope she steps on a Lego or whatever.
Oh no.
But like I could be frustrated at her driving, or it could go for any driver, not just Midnight Hurricane. Like if Lucas takes me out, I could be like, man, Lucas Like I really don't like the way that he treated me on track. But like out of the track, like I just talk to him in his chat when he's streaming and be like, oh hi Lucas, like this and that, like people I feel like people sometimes have trouble separating like frustration from like personal issues of somebody.
I feel like I've had that happen to me. Because I know, especially like first round of VTrack last season, I was not the best driver, and I think Lucas was kind of frustrated with me on track because of like I had like some incorrect settings on my rear view mirror, and you know, I didn't really know how to warm up the tires and the brakes during the formation lap.
Yeah,
But
I think a lot of the time it's not personal. It's not like it's not a slight to you as a person, or it's not that they're putting you down. It's just that it's just in terms of the race, in terms of everything, and also it's heat in the moment as well. Like it's something I guess people have to realize as well. Maybe people have their reasons holding ill will against people, or like maybe like have being a little bit suspicious. But like I feel like for me, like I'm able to separate like the person and the driving. Like maybe sometimes if there's enough evidence for maybe like okay, like maybe it correlates a little bit, but that's like one or two people that I've ever raced, and like it's not really likely that it'll happen, and it's nobody in track.
ooh, okay, some secret people. I see. I'm not kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm trying
just,
not to get canceled.
yeah, it's like that's only ever happened to me like a few times, and like I probably even forgot about it, but like sometimes you do have that, and but yeah, usually you're able to separate it.
If you could describe your driving temperament, I guess, or attitude, which real life driver would you say? Because I always joke about being the Matt Kenseth of VTrack, you know, like, oh yeah, no, I'm super passive, I'm super, you know, I'm not gonna hold a grudge on anyone, and this, that, or the other. Like, who would you say would describe you the best?
I'm not sure about like a real life driver compared to, but when I think about my driving, like from a critical and from like a as from both I guess a bias and also sort of a critical standpoint, because you can't view yourself without some bias, of course. But like for me, I feel like I'm a very usually a very consistent driver, like very like I'm able to clock in lap after lap, like that's within like a few tenths, because I've had that like complimented towards me. Like people have told me that I'm a really like consistent driver, like somebody who can just really keep on like doing the same thing over and over again. And when it comes to racing, I'm usually very respectful. I give people a lot of room, but like at the same time I'm able to like control a bit of my aggression. I do struggle in race starts, and I do struggle at sometimes I do struggle in some really I guess extreme conditions, like the conditions we had in Silverstone today. Like it was really like a strange, like in the middle between wet and dry. So like sometimes they're not able to adapt as well sometimes. But I feel like I'm really good on my feet, and I feel like I can really yeah, I could be really consistent. So I'm not sure who I feel like I'm not sure if you have an idea of somebody that would be very similar.
Ooh, that's actually a really tough one. I'm gonna be biased. I'm gonna say maybe Sebastian Buemi. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh no! Don't associate him with me. You're also saying that I also cry a lot and bitch a lot.
Oh no, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't. Let me walk. I'm walking that back. I didn't mean it like that.
It's okay. I understand. It's just I don't know. I really don't like Sebastian Buemi. I'm sorry.
All the Toyota fans in the comments section right now. What do you mean you don't like Sebastian Buemi?
But like yeah, I guess like I guess like my best trait is that I'm able to be as consistent as possible while also like pushing as most as I can.
I wonder if that would be like a before his last season Jimmy Johnson then.
I feel like that would I feel like that would I don't know. I feel like that would track actually.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that would actually fit cuz like well in Kenseth too, cuz Kenseth is super consistent.
Yeah, like I feel like in that case, I feel like I'm more Kenseth, because I'm not usually like in for like the win all the time, but like I'm always usually like in there. I'm always making sure that I'm always there with a good finish, and even if I have a mistake, like even if I really dropped back. I've been able to recover so many times. Like it's almost a miracle how many times I've been able to recover from a really bad start or from a big accident.
Yeah, I would say Kenseth then, just because, you know, king of consistency Kenseth over there winning a whole season without a single win, giving us the domino effect of the playoffs now.
He did actually win one race. I think it was Las Vegas.
Was it? I thought the 2003 season he didn't win at all.
He had one win. Like he won, but like he had so many top fives that it was just in top tens. It was just insane.
Ah, okay.
And everybody else was just like either blowing engines or crashing or whatnot. Like I know Ryan Newman had like a ridiculous amount of pole positions, but like he could only convert half of that to wins because he would always like not be able to finish.
Oh gosh, the 2003 season especially, because like Ryan Newman was like super, like I think he had a good start at the 500 and then ended up with the barrel roll.
Yeah, like you know, like he's known as the Rocket Man, but not as the race winning man. Well, I guess he won a lot of races. I think he won the most, but you know, it's not what he wanted in the championship.
Yeah, I'm biased. I'm Jeff Gordon ride or die. So sorry there, Newman, but I was not rooting for you when you were racing my driver there.
I was a Junior fan actually back then, so it was back when Junior was really in contention for like a championship all the time, and then he lost and then he lost the chance when he cursed on national TV. That was such bullshit.
That's
honestly.
Oh my gosh! All because it was the same year that there was the Super Bowl slip. You know,
yeah.
Like, okay, NASCAR, you could have just, you know, naughty, don't do that again. No. But yeah, that points penalty was too much.
That cost him a title. I feel like maybe it would have not been, but I feel like that was that really cut into his chances. Like he definitely could have had it.
It was definitely his, like, that was the year he was definitely in contention, because I think it was like him, I think it was Gordon, and I forget who else it was that was in contention at the time.
It was 2004 season. I think it was Kurt Busch.
Yeah.
Oh man.
NASCAR pulling a modern FIA.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I used to be a huge NASCAR fan actually. I used to watch every race on Sunday when I was a kid growing up. But then I somehow, I don't know, like I just started losing interest because not because of the whole playoff thing or the chase thing. I think it's just because I just got into sports car racing like when I got into middle school or high school, sometime in there, and then I just found it way more interesting. And yeah, but back then I was really big. It was a really big Dale Jr. fan like anybody else, and I also really like Denny Hamlin back then as well. Like when he started doing when he entered the sport, like, and then in 2010 I was a really big Hamlin fan, and he got so close
before he started his villain arc.
Yeah, I'm still a fan of him. I will admit I'm still a fan of him, so I'm sorry, everybody. But yeah, I'm still a Hamlin fan. But right now, my driver is Daniel Suarez for obvious reasons.
I'm just over here like, William Byron, please, please.
Yeah, that's something that I share in comments. I guess I still am a NASCAR fan, but I just don't watch it as much as often. It's not because I hate it or anything. It's just that I just don't have as much interest in it because now I'm just into so many different things now. I don't know. I don't really have the motivation to follow as much as I did back in the day.
Have you ever been to a race, like not just NASCAR, but have you been to a track in person before?
Oh, multiple times actually. I've been to the Auto Club Speedway a few times, definitely. I've been to the 2009 Auto Club. I think it was the night race, or actually no, because of Red Flag. It was, I don't know, I forget. But I first went to Auto Club in 2009. And then I went in 2013 when Hamlin broke his back. That was definitely not a good race for me to be at as a Hamlin fan back then. Then there was I went in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, I think, and then 2018, and then I stopped after that because then in 2016 I went to my first Grand Prix Long Beach, and then I've been to every Grand Prix since 2016, and then I also went to when it was still a thing, Global Rallycross, the GRC, I forgot what it was called, Global Rallycross Championship.
Oh yeah.
Because it was right in my backyard. It was literally in my hometown. Like I literally could walk, I was like the day they did it, the first day, like I could literally go because I was in high school at the time in 2014. It was literally like a 20-minute walk. Like it was a few blocks away, and I could just go there. It was literally in my backyard, and the drive there took like 5 to 10 minutes. So like that was probably one of the coolest things, is that the GRC was in my hometown, which is like super cool. And then I was really sad when the season got canceled, because it was really one of my favorite things, because it was super close and personal, and I got to meet a few real life drivers, including Tanner Faust, Pastrana, Ken Block, especially RIP to Ken Block. I still can't believe he's gone. Who else? Steve Arpin, Reese Millen. Probably the coolest thing I've ever done. The coolest person I've ever met ever was Reese Millen, and he would talk to me like for like a whole 20 minutes, and he gave me a free shirt that I still have. Like he is super cool, Reese Millen, a super cool dude, and he is a legend. He's like a hill climb legend.
I had to wait for a second because I had a car was just revving off next to my window. The joys of living next to a highway, ladies and gentlemen. I've only ever been to one race, and I never got to meet any driver in person. I want to at one point. At one point in time, that is my goal, is to meet a driver in person. And I think right now my current goal actually is meeting a bunch of because I think a bunch of us are trying to go to Anime North next year.
Okay. I feel like the favorite person. I feel like my favorite driver I've ever met. I feel like it's a tie. Actually, between Georg Bergmeister. I've met him at I think it was a 2017 Grand Prix, and like he was super cool. Like he was like super. He's really tall too. Like, oh my god. Like he wouldn't fit in most doorways. Like you couldn't believe how tall he was. But he's super cool. Like he's probably up there in like my favorite people I've met. And also, a little bit embarrassing, but my favorite person I think overall I've ever met was Samantha Tan. I think you know her. She races in a GT World Challenge America.
Yeah.
She has her own esports team as well, and I was completely like, I was struck. I was like, oh my gosh, because that's my biggest celebrity crush is Samantha Tan. When I met her, she was so nice. Like, I can't believe how nice she was. Like, I just decided, I was like, oh, hi, Sam. And we talked for a little bit, and, I referred, because we have a mutual, I guess, somebody we know, between us, a friend, a general journalist friend from Daily Sports Car, RJ O'Connell. I was like, oh my gosh, did you get to meet RJ? I was like, oh my gosh, no, I didn't. And it's like, oh my god, I was so happy to meet her, and I felt like my cheeks were red the whole time, and but she was so nice. Like, she's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in motorsport. And if you ever get the time, to go to a GT World Challenge America race, and if you ever see her around the paddock, you should say hi to her, because she is so nice, and she takes time for everybody, and she's definitely one of my inspirations.
Oh gosh, that's literally me with because I go to a lot of conventions. I meet up with some voice actors because surprise, I also want to get into voice acting. For me, it was Erica Harlisher. I don't know if you.
Actually, I don't know them actually. Sorry.
Yeah, they did the they were the English voice of they're the English voice for Venti in Genshin, and they were also
okay.
Yeah. They also voiced Kyoko Kitagiri. If you've ever played Danganronpa or seen the anime.
Oh, I never played.
Yeah. So I got to meet her last year at a convention, and one of the nicest people you meet, and Todd Habercorn too, super nice, super chill. Had a conversation about because he had a whole thing of candy. It was day 2 of the convention. He's like, yeah, I'm trying to get rid of all this candy. Like, where'd you get the candy from? He's like, oh, I went to Costco. I was like, dude, I work at Sam's. Why would you say that you got it at Costco?
Oh my gosh. Oh, another person, actually, another driver, Catherine Legg, actually, super cool to meet. And also a big fan of hers. And oh my gosh, there's so many people that I've met that I've just really liked. Some drivers are assholes, but I mean, I guess it's because they're told they have to do it. So I understand. You don't have to be super nice to everybody. And I understand you if you don't want to talk super. I understand that. I don't ask everybody for autographs or whatever. A lot of the time I don't even ask people for pictures. I just want to talk to them and ask them questions about how is it or how does this compare, or how, or even just how is this different. But but most of the time they like to talk they like to talk because knowing me from knowing the racer mindset, you always like to talk about yourself. You always like to talk and brag, so it's yeah, it's just a lot of fun.
I know. For me, I told someone, I was like, oh yeah, Ruby's on the list of the pod for podcast guests at some point, because I was like, oh, there's no as soon as the podcast is a little more established, I'll definitely reach out to Ruby and ask, and then you reached out first, and I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah, I actually wanted to get on because I don't know, I thought it would be fun.
I've been surprised, because I've just been like, I was just like, oh, I'm used to needing to ask. I was like, I don't want to ask right away because, oh, it's still super early. I'm going to seem super desperate and stuff. And then just out of nowhere, hey, do you know when I can come on? I'm like, what? Excuse me, hold on. Kaito.exe has stopped working.
Oh, whenever I have an opportunity to yap and brag about myself, I always take it because I always beat myself up in my head. So I feel like maybe I like to offset it with just talking about myself in a nice way.
But to your point, it's really cool when like those that you want to talk to and meet are super friendly, super down to earth,
I mean, like sometimes the saying "don't meet your heroes" is true, because sometimes I've had people that are like that just not really say anything. I don't want to say anything actually, but yeah, some people just they're just there for it, and like I respect that. Like, because I feel like maybe I would kind of be the same. I don't know. It's just different circumstances. Everybody's kind of different. Some people aren't very talkative. Some people aren't very. But like it's just really cool when you get to like talk with somebody who's like lives such a different life. Who's so lucky enough to race for a living, or even just race in general. Like who has the means to race. And you get to ask them so many questions, and when they do want to talk to you, you just learn so much, and that sort of sticks with you.
If you could meet any racer, any sim racer that you haven't met yet, who would it be?
If I would meet in person, Anor, I'd love to meet Anor in person. I mean, for other reasons. Okay, but other than that, one of my heroes, one of my biggest I guess role models, or just a driver that I really, really, really look up to, is Ronnie Quintarelli, who is a Nissan factory driver in Super GT. I would love to get the chance to meet him in real life. Like I would take, like, if I had the chance to meet him, like, and if I was able to reasonably, like, I would be first in line. Like I would ask him so many questions about like his back-to-back titles, about like how it was to get through the Japanese like sports car racing ladder, like how it is to live in Japan, like being a foreigner because he's from Italy, like, and like basically just what's his secret, how does he what's his what does he see on the track that nobody else does, or all the stories he's had. Like Ronnie Quintarelli is like one of the people that I really look up to, and like he's one of my favorite drivers of all time. Another one obviously is Dale Jr. Obviously, like I really want to meet Dale Jr. obviously, and like he just seems like a chill guy. He just seems like one of the dudes. Like he's just like he's not somebody I would be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I meet you. Like it's just somebody that I would just chill with, just one of them country boys that would be like having a beer, hanging out, just fishing, like just one of those guys that just seems down to earth and just doesn't seem like doesn't seem distant, but doesn't seem like super duper not conceited, but like isn't like super wrapped up in their own fame, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, because I know that I know a few people that are like that, and it's just like, really?
It's just they're chill. Like they're just kind of like one of the dudes. Like they're just a dude.
Yeah, because I've met people that are like all in their head about oh, I'm so and so, I'm so big. I'm like mate, come on, you can be a little more chill.
But yeah, that's the two people I would meet, because I've already met Samantha Tan, and like that's one of the top people I've wanted to meet, and I've already met her, and she is so lovely. I love her so much. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. But like I love her so much. And somebody else. I met Catherine Legg, and Jordan Taylor I've already met. He's pretty funny. Who else? George Bergmeister again. Ken Block, Travis Pastrana. Pastrana is also super cool. He's like super humble as well. Like when I met him, he was super humble when I asked him about man, I'm so sad your NASCAR career didn't go as well as planned. It's like he's like, well, you make your own luck. And I was so surprised by that. Like he was just so cool, so chill about it. Like he was able to just be like that vulnerable about it. and like that just cemented him as a super cool guy in my eyes. So yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing any real life driving, by the way? Because I know you're super fast. You've competed in the esports stuff. If given the chance, would you try and compete in a race in a non-virtual car?
Oh, I can't believe you'd even ask that. Like, if I would say no, like for sure, I would jump at the chance. Like I said, it was the thing I wanted to do as a child, and like growing up, we didn't have the means to do it, and so like I always felt really lost about what to do. And now I feel like I have a direction with professional sim racing. But if I ever had the chance to actually race in real life, even just once, I would jump at the chance. Like, just to see how it's like, and just to see maybe if I could do just as well as I could in the sim. 100% I would. 110% actually. 150%, even 200%. I would do it.
Which car?
That's a really tough question because I don't want to jump into something that I would be in over my head with. I feel like an MX-5 Miata Cup car, definitely.
Okay.
Just because I feel like I wouldn't embarrass myself on one of those. Either that or a GT4 car.
Okay. So like the BMW GT4.
Something like that, yeah.
Alright. Getting back onto the VTubing, or I guess not VTubing, like exclusive series, TGT next week. Suzuka.
Suzuka is one of my favorite tracks, actually. So, I feel like I have a really good chance there. I feel like I'm really happy. I'm really excited about my chances there. Really feeling really good about my chances there, rather. I've already done the practice in Ford V track, so I have something to work off of. I know where I struggle at. I know where I feel like I can improve, and I know how to race others at. And it's going to be against a more stronger overall field. So it's going to be a lot more interesting. I'm going to have I have that head start already, so I feel like I have a lot more to work off of. So I'm really excited, especially since it's one of my favorite tracks of all time.
Do you think there'll be a little more chaos with there being quite a bit more drivers on the track compared to V track, or do you think it'll be kind of a little more tame down turn one?
Me, I feel like it'd be more tame just because there's more experience around me, because in VTrack there's like a whole different there's like a skill gap, because obviously like there's VTubers who are in there because just for fun. It's a more casual series to them, especially in the AM class. And the same for AM and Tracc GT3, but overall Tracc GT3 I feel like is more of like a more serious sort of series. So and the people in pro like some of them, like Nils Sentkowski, Juan Zielin, Alvin Wong, Alvaro Vicente, are like they're like bona fide pros, like they're pros, especially, and even like, taking into account the past people who raced in Tracc GT3, like Anor Rose, who really sweep the series, even with just such drivers, such talent, like, but like even then, like I feel like I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes it's made to cause some chaos, but I felt like Ulton would be worse in that case. But yet we all handled it turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 quite well in the wet. So I'm pretty confident Suzuka will be just fine.
It's funny you said like Alvin and others as like pros. You don't consider yourself a pro?
I don't know. Like a lot of people tell me that a lot of people consider me as like a professional. Like, and I guess that kind of holds true. I don't like saying it myself because it feels like I'm bragging in that sense. Like, but thinking about it, because I've already qualified for the global esports games. I've already been to Screen to Speed. I've already done Ferrari esports. Like, I guess I am. It's just that I feel like I'm not exactly at that level yet.
I feel like everyone's their worst critic when it comes to that, though, because I've been told like, oh, you're really good at this. I'm like, no, I have a lot of room to improve on. So I don't think that's just like a you thing. I think that's like just everyone in general is like, no, I'm not at that level. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know her tells me this a lot too. Where like she's like, you already are at this level. Like you're already there. Like you've made such bands. It's like, I don't know. I don't feel like. I feel like I have so much more to go, because like I always see, like, I don't know, I guess I'm just always hungry for more is the thing. I just want more. I'm always looking for more. Even with my 5th place finish, even with like me being like in range with some of the fastest people in VTrack, people who would really hold their own in Tracc GT3. like I still feel like I wanted more. I still feel like I could have had more, and I feel like I could have had more because obviously that spin, and I also got into Ryuma, which was my bad. I'm really sorry, and like I just I feel like I could have done more, but I guess that's just how it is when I don't know, when you're competing at such a level, it's just you always feel like you can have more. You're never really satisfied.
All right. Well, I don't want to hold you too long because I know it's starting to get late for me. I don't know how late it is for you. But is there anything that you've got coming up? Anything that you wanna share? Some upcoming plans or events or anything special?
Well, obviously, I have the Tracc.eu 3 Cup next week at, like you said, Suzuka. I have that. I'm really excited for that. I'm planning to stream sometime this week. I don't know what I'm going to stream. Maybe it's going to be more LFM, because I haven't done LFM in a while, and I feel like I really do want to at least get into a good enough split in the Case King Pro Series sometime next season. That's my ultimate goal, is to at least make a good split and compete in there, and just be a VTuber at the same time. Just a VTuber stray VTuber in the middle of like people like George Boothby and stuff. So but also, the week after that, I won't be able to do a VTrack challenge because I'll be doing the Ferrari Esports series at Silverstone. Again, not in the wet, thankfully. Not in these really difficult... I like the wet, it's just not the, it was really tricky conditions, but thankfully it's in the dry. It's going to be at Silverstone. It's going to be around 12:40 my time Pacific, and upcoming with... I'm also driving with Mirai United. We're going to do Petit Le Mans. And other than that, I mean, there's also the Global Esports Games that I get to look forward to, and hopefully everybody will watch. And hopefully I could find a way to stream while I'm in China. I think I'll need a VPN. I don't know, maybe I need to ask some of the X-Ring people. But we'll see. Yeah, also I think I have an Init Talks as well with Init Esports, people who organize the qualifiers as well. So, yeah, that's what I have coming up.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on to the podcast. And like I said, you were definitely on the list of definitely going to be asked to be on the podcast. So, I'm really glad that you asked to be on so early. So thank you so much for joining on the podcast. A lot coming up, a lot for the podcast as well. Maybe eventually that Tracc.eu partnership. Cough, cough, Julian, cough, cough. But
it was a lot of fun, actually. Thank you.
Of course, anytime. But that'll do it for us. Make sure to keep it pinned here at Racing Vtuber Rundown for anything of your Racing Vtuber news and events coverage.
See you all. Yeah.